As promised, we have Aaron Bowen on from San Diego. He has 5 records on Bandcamp. He's a builder, a musician, and he runs ABCO Guitars.
All right, so Aaron, you know, as Zach kind of alluded to during the intro, you know, you're a musician, a guitar builder. You know, you get your hand in a few different places there. You want to tell us a little bit about yourself, you know, kind of from the musician side of things, and you know what you're doing and where things are at these days?
Well, so I guess I'll go back real quick, but
Sure.
I started playing classical viola at the age of 3.
Wow.
Whoa. I got a 3-year-old. He ain't playing viola.
People always go, so what started you on music? Were you like looking for chicks? I'm like, I don't even remember starting. I got to be honest with you, I don't remember. Like 3 years old, I don't remember. But it was like, you know, like it was like a serious thing. It was like classical lessons all the way through. Got a guitar a little later. I think I was 5, and it was like a deal with my mom that, like, I found the guitar. I actually got it at a yard sale down the street from my house, and I brought it home, and she was just like, "Oh no, you know." So it was like, keep that away till the lessons are done, then you can play with it a little bit, you know. And then I was headed, like, I was going to school I was going for my master's in theory and composition. I really thought I was going to be a composer or something, you know, but the guitar thing just took over. I was, you know, noodling a lot in my teens and had a little bit of like moderate success where I was like an Ibanez and Dorsey when I was really young, and like I was a shredder kid, you know, long hair. Yes. So that was like that took over my life. And then I got almost right to the end of schooling and just went, what am I doing? I'm setting myself up to only be a teacher at a university, you know. So I walked away from that whole thing, and I haven't even picked up a viola in like 15 years or maybe more now.
Wow. Yes. Speaking of another guy, I've got a music degree myself.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I get neuroscience or something, but no, you know, what did I? Yeah. So, yeah.
Awesome. So then, you know, you got into guitar, started playing guitar, and you know, now you've got records out and all that stuff. So, you know, what are you up to these days with music?
I'm actually like, I was playing a lot, gigging a lot right before the pandemic, and really working myself up to some good, nice gigs. And then the pandemic hit. Yeah. You know. Yeah. And it was just like, oh, what now? And I do a lot of producing and recording. You know, a lot of arranging for people too. And of course, everything ended. You know.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and so I've always tinkered. I used to be a fabricator. I built race cars for a living. I used to do all kinds of stuff. I've always noodled with my guitars, but never to this extent. And I've just always been searching for something in an electric that I couldn't get. Mm-hmm. You know, I couldn't find. I have a really good buddy that teaches me a lot about building local company here in San Diego called High Spirit Guitars. A guy named Connor. Cool. Super good luthier. Yeah. I'm incredibly fortunate to live like walking distance from a super cool old school shop. You know, like guys in there 50 years building guitars, like, you know, real luthiers. Like, it's so cool to like.
Yeah. So. That's awesome. Yeah, so good segue. So how'd you kind of get into building guitars yourself? You know, what was sort of the synthesis of that? Were you looking for something that you couldn't get, or?
Exactly. I was playing mainly acoustic and bigger arch tops right before the pandemic, you know. And then I pinched the ulnar nerve, which is like the funny bone nerve.
Sure. Okay.
I pinched it somewhere in my neck or in my back. We still don't know where. And it goes all the way down and into your two fingers. Like if you ever hit your funny bone,
Yep.
And so holding an acoustic or an arch top for any length of time was just like cramping up. But I do a ton of finger picking, and something I've noticed, I've still yet to find a good electric that can articulate finger picking, like fast finger picking. It seems like when you're plugged into an amp and there's electric, somehow there becomes a wall of mush, where there's like, you can't hear all the notes really definitively.
Sure.
So experimenting with setup, experimenting with electronics, experimenting with pickups, that was the big thing, like I can pick up a Strat and play, and I'm just like, something's missing, or any solid body electric, Yeah. And I'm not saying I'm some revolutionary builder, but I've been able to get out what I'm looking for. I can take one electric to a gig and noodle and play jazz, or I can play folk on it, and I'm not losing anything. So that was my goal,
Awesome. And when you started doing that, getting into building, figuring that out, are you building just guitars that work for you, or are you building on commission? Is it kind of a little bit of everything, or?
A little bit of everything, but to be totally honest with you, I only build what I like, and I'm not trying to sound cool, but
sure,
I've had people message me and send me a picture of something, and they're like, "Hey, can you build a Firebird?" And I'm all, Gibson does a great job. You can order from them today,
Yeah.
And so like, I'm not trying to be some exclusive like hipster, but I just build what I like. Like if I'll play it, I'll be willing to sell it to somebody, or like that's what I'll be willing to build.
Yeah.
I would never want to get stuck with a piece of gear. Like I've never sold anything that I was like, oh man, if I get stuck with this, I'm never gonna play it. Like you want to have stuff that you like, right? Like what if you don't sell it?
I've built a couple guitars where I told myself that is for me. That I'm building this one for myself, because I don't even own one of my own guitars. Mm-hmm. They're all. I'm sorry, my cat is wanting to get in on the scene here.
Oh, no worries.
And I, I'll play it a couple times on my Instagram, and somebody will message me, "I'll buy it." And I'm like, okay, So I guess that's a good theory for me. If I'll play it and it does what I want it to do and it sounds the way I want, then I feel comfortable selling it.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Passing it on to a buddy or something.
And I've the guitars that you've built that I've looked at, and seen online, they all seem, quite different. Like you're not doing, standard models or repeat things or anything like that. So kind of like when you're starting in on a guitar, what are you thinking when you're going into it? Do you have an idea, or is it like a specific pickup set that you want to use with it, or kind of what inspires each guitar?
I think it is. Like, I think, a couple things are shape. And then I build my own trem parts, all my own tremolos and stuff. And I'm working on doing some bridge stuff. And so I'll look at that and I'll set it down. A couple of cool ideas with pickups, or somebody will send me a set of pickups and I'll go, okay, I got to build around this, so that's how I go into most of them, like kind of feeling it out, seeing like what some one part will inspire the build,
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. And I've seen some, you seem to be using some, reclaimed woods and whatnot. Mm-hmm. Is that, is that something that you try and do on the, regularly with guitars, or is that just something that comes up when it comes up, or?
No, I do that as much as I possibly can. Again, I feel like a beginner at this, or whatever. But I'm so fortunate to have just surrounded by there's a wood place down the street from my house that does urban lumber. They're they have contracts with some of the local power companies, and when trees get hacked down, they get them and kiln dry them, and I go down and pick out nice woods. There's a couple other local builders in town that do the same thing, and it's really cool. I mean, it's amazing what species are in this city. I've got one-piece flamed redwood to gorgeous pines to it's San Diego, so it was a desert at one time, and they just brought a bunch of trees in. Yeah. And so I feel pretty fortunate to have that access to that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Super
cool. And are you doing things mostly by hand, or utilizing a lot of machinery when you're doing it, or?
No, it's funny because I remember somebody said, "Hey, I'd like to do a little interview or something with you, and I'd like to see your wood shop." I said, "Well, here's my jigsaw, and here's my router, and here are my files," which I think are probably my most important tool I have. It's hand files. But no, it's so funny. I hardly have anything. So
Sure.
yeah,
Well, hey, if it works, it works, right?
Yeah.
it works until my hands hurt. Like yeah, yeah. But yeah, it is working. It's working so far. I'm working harder, not smarter. So
Yeah.
oh well.
So what's next for your guitars or your music, or what's coming up next for you?
I wasn't intending to, but there was no there was no call to do it. But I slowly started working on a new album.
Nice.
And I guess I've done all kinds of music, from like weird electronic whatever to like folky or whatever. So this is like something new for me, and kind of like AM 70s smooth jazzy something. I don't know what the heck to call it, but throwback stuff. So it's an album, like we all have to do right now. I'm working by myself, like playing every instrument, and so I'll have something out in the next few months, I think.
Nice. And the recording, you're doing all that at home?
Yeah. I always record at home. I have a cool little setup. My whole front end is all tube, probably like pre 60, old weird preamps and oddball microphone. I haven't plugged a condenser mic in probably like 3 years. Like all I do is like weird funky dynamics, and it's shocking the tones I get. I'm using an old this old, I don't know if you can see it here, it's off in the corner, but I'm using this old like 90s Akai 16 track funky digital hard disk recorder.
Cool.
Yeah.
So there's zero editing, zero you can punch, but that's about the extent of my editing.
Yeah.
Sure.
And each track I'm trying to get the whole track in one day, like start to finish. That's what I've done on the last few albums, where I start in the morning and it's finished. Like no more, I'm not adding anything else. If it's not here in the room, I can't add it, kind of weird, like Buddhist, some kind of, I don't know, whatever idea, but it's working great. So
hey, if it works, it works.
It's working. Yeah. I'm enjoying it. So
awesome. And anything coming up on the guitar end of things, or any?
Yeah, I have a lot of builds in the works right now. I have let me see, where is that thing? There's a great builder, and you guys probably know him. Duncan Price. You guys talked to him yet?
No.
Disco Baby. If you don't know him, I'll tag you.
Okay, yeah.
Do you know him?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So the guy's like brilliant. He's doing all kinds of crazy sustainer guitars right now, like
okay.
Over
the
the top
guy
stuff.
with the pickups that are like little dots?
Yes.
That guy. Yes. Yeah. Holy shit.
Okay. So
okay.
What's cool is we've become, internet friends as much as you become internet friends. Sure. And I've asked a few pickup people. I wanted to try some interesting things. Maybe they're not that interesting, but because let's face it, everything's been done. It's been done.
Sure.
So I just wanted to try some ideas. Like I was talking to my good buddy again at High Spirit. We were talking about like wire distance from the magnets on the bobbin and like how we think it affects this or whatever. So I drew a little drawing and I messaged Duncan and I said, hey, I'm thinking of this idea for a pickup. I know it's weird, but could we try it, And like not even a minute later, he sends me back the same drawing and he goes, yeah, I was thinking of that same thing.
Oh, cool.
So like for one of my new builds, we made these. I don't know if you can see that.
Yeah.
So a lot of people were like, oh, that's a cool cover, And I'm like, no, we did the bobbin that way.
Yeah.
So over here, the wire is further away from the magnet. So we get, a looser sound. Over here, tighter, like a Strat or something. So.
Oh, yeah.
What was cool is he's like, yeah, I'll make them for you.
Super.
And I'm like, all right. Because he's wild. You guys should get him on your show. He's really brilliant builder. He's doing some crazy stuff. I love it.
Now, with that pickup, do you intend it to go one way versus the other, or is it?
Yeah, I'm building a guitar right now. It might be in my photos, but it's like there's 3 of them. They go one direction. It's the second one I've made. The other one went to a local girl. She's like a really good R&B singer named Jasmine Bailey.
Cool.
And it sounds amazing. Like when he sent it to me, he goes, I don't know how this sounds, And then I plugged it in. I was like, this sounds killer. I don't know if it's doing what I intended, if it's really like, but the guitar sounds great anyway, so I'm really happy.
There you go. That's all you gotta work.
Yeah, so a lot of good builds in the works right now.
Cool. Is the one you're holding one of your builds?
Yeah, this one goes out tomorrow.
Nice.
Yeah.
I didn't think that was gonna last long.
Yeah, I was thinking if it doesn't sell, I don't care. I'll keep it. But, it's got Geminis in it. You guys know Rob and Gemini pickups.
Familiar with the pickups, yeah.
Yeah, he really, I had a bucket full of vintage gold foils over the years, from every maker. And once I got his, I just went, cool, I can sell these now. There's no reason to keep it. That guy can build a pickup, so.
Yeah.
If anybody wants to check out my music, Bandcamp is my favorite. Ready for a speed round again.
All right. So speed round, simple, I basically ask you, like Zach said, strat or tell it, you know what I mean? Just kind of pick up from there. So I this one I was very curious about looking at some of your stuff. Jazzmaster or Jaguar?
Oh boy. I think Jaguar, but Jazzmaster pickups.
Yeah,
okay.
All right.
Somebody sent me this very same question last night, and I said that exact same thing. So.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
And kind of, checking out some of your music now. I was very interested in this one too. Would you take reverb or delay?
Reverb.
Okay. Master volume, yes or no?
No.
Okay. Are you a coffee guy or a tea guy?
Oh, coffee, 100%. I even roast my own coffee.
Nice. Oh.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Les Paul or 335?
335.
Deluxe reverb or a Tweed Deluxe?
Deluxe reverb.
Pants or shorts?
Pants. Yeah.
Buzz face or a big muff?
Oh, I don't know. I'm not really familiar with. I'm not super familiar with either. Actually, I wouldn't know exactly what they sound, but I would say probably a fuzz face, only because I have a couple farm pedals that he's done.
Gotcha.
In that, so.
I got that. I saw you, checking out a guitar with fuzz, so I figured I'd throw that one in there.
Yeah.
Vox or Marshall?
Oh, jeez. It's Marshall.
All right.
Cool. That Randy Rhoads.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Finally, are you a boots guy or a sneakers guy?
Sneakers. Well, I only wear one kind of shoes, one brand of shoes. They're called camper shoes. They're from Spain, and they're like a leather shoe, but they're not a boot or a sneaker. Sneakers, I put them on, I always go, man, I'm too old for sneakers. But about sneakers, I don't know why, but yeah, only when I go skateboarding I'll put sneakers on. So
yeah. Awesome. All right. That was all. Anything else you wanted to add?
No, that's it, man. Thank you so much for doing this. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me. That was great. Yeah. I'm really honored.
Excellent, man.
Thank you.
What was that?
I was thanking him for taking the time.
Sorry.
Come on.